let's not get distracted by something other here. But like the fact of the matter is, they're not playing. Like they're in big time trouble.
They didn't play well.
No,
like
absolutely.
you can talk about the finger and Austin Matthews talking to the media. If they get pumped tomorrow, and it just will put them in a bad vibe going out west. And then if it's not good out there, it's pretty much game over.
But that's it. All ties together. I guess is where we're kind of going with this. Like people are wondering, is this the end of an era? What happens? And again, they're not an awful team. Noodles, you asked what are they? They're a middle of the pack team. Now in the division they're in, that's not going to be enough. Unfortunately,
no.
If they were in the Pacific, it might be third place. Who knows?
Right.
But it's not. Like they're not an awful team. Right? Let's clarify that. They're dealing with injuries. They're not playing well this homestand. 100%. And as I said right off the bat, I'm not doing anything drastic between now and the end of this trip. Figure it out once you get there. But time is ticking. But the larger conversation that I do think is happening is, if it is the first time in a decade they're going to miss, if it is the first time in a decade they could be sellers at the deadline. They've been buyers for 10 years. Been buyers for 10 years or 9 years. 9 seasons buyers, nine seasons going to the playoffs. It's a long time. It's a big adjustment. So it's a change. And I think there's been a lot of change here. It's fitting that Mitch Marner rolled through town on a different team, right? He's gone, man. He's not coming back. The team we're talking about tomorrow night for the last decade, no one has paid a second of attention to. A second. You better pay attention now because Buffalo's legit. Like, they're third in the division. They're spanking teams. That's a sign of, like, where are we right now? Kyle Dubas is working down at Pitt, man. That team's cooking. They just went through the West and won. They're in a playoff spot. Dubas is somewhere else. So there's a lot of stuff that happened through the era that all of a sudden is changing, including what's going on with his team. And I think it's leading to a big picture chat of, like, where are they going? Like, what is their mission statement? What are they trying to achieve? I know they're going to say or try to win a Stanley Cup. 32 teams say that. We get that. What do you do better than anyone else? I don't know. Like, what are they trying to do? Where are they going? I knew what their plan last year was. It's pretty clear now. It was all in. It was the last dance, right? Shanahan's last year, they knew Marner was leaving. Regardless of what they say publicly, they knew he was gone, right? They knew he was gone. They went and got Tanev on a crazy deal, but they're like, we got to have this guy. Really good player. Great player. Went all in at the deadline. Got a coach that is, is a rah, let's go fight coach.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let's catch lightning in a bottle, punch people out, win in the alleys, win on the ice. I knew what it was last year. Now Shanahan's gone, Marner's gone, and they're just in the middle. I don't know what their mission statement is now. I don't know what their plan is. I don't know where they're going. And that's what is sticking out to me. Yes, you're right. On the micro, you're like they're not playing well and they're fighting. But on the macro, I think a lot more Leaf fans are like, where's this going? What are we doing here? Guys are giving the finger. Goalies are just saying, I'm playing tonight. There's weird stuff going on, and it's not. The Leafs better sharpen this up. I guess.
What are they going to sharpen up?
They
though?
better sharpen it up.
Can they sharpen it up to any level, Brian? Where you would say, and I don't even know how they could possibly do this, but my philosophy on this team after watching them through, what did you say, 51 or 2 games?
52 games.
52 games. 52. I would not dump one more cent or pick or asset into these guys. Like, unless Nathan McKinnon's available, I don't know what the hell is going to help this team. Like, are you going to get some depth piece? Like, it would have to be such a significant piece, I think, to give the team the bump, because I don't know what that would be. But to invest any more into it, like, we're talking 10 years, and you said they've always been aggressive at the deadline, and they deserved it, and they were great, and whatever. But I think that party's over. Like, I don't know. What are you going to give up even? You're going to dump Easton Cowan and Ben Danford for a guy that's going to play here for 3 months, and then you get pumped in the first round? I don't know.
I don't think you do that, but I think you're strategically always trying to add. If I was trying to add right now just to help my group, it's still another defenseman, a right shot defenseman. Like, for me, I don't.
Who are you getting, though, Noodles? Like, who moves the needle?
I don't know.
I know. It's an unfair question.
It's an unfair. Like, what I'm saying is, I understand what you're saying, though. You're not dangling Easton Cowan for a rental or whatever. But
and Jamie, you just said where we differ. You said you'd like to add. The only thing I would try to be focused on is subtracting and try to set myself up for some kind of turnaround next year. And if I can trim the fat and get rid of the $4 million guys that don't. I don't know. I don't know what I would do.
I get you, but what I'm trying to do is have a level of, like, would we be? We're not. We weren't having this conversation 10 days ago when they were 8-0-2. Everyone's going, you could see maybe a playoff team. It might be.
We were 20 games ago, Noodles.
You're right. No,
you know
that's
what I mean? Like we were.
You're
20
right, but
games ago.
hear me out. This is what I'm saying. This is how crazy this season has been, up and down.
Mm-hmm.
So, coming back to O's point, I don't think you're selling the farm to go all in on something. But what you are trying to do is, if you can add a piece here or there to maybe get you back to a little bit more consistency. Challenge is that what we've seen is like 20 games ago, not good. 10 games ago looked really good. Now it doesn't look so good. Now if they go on a run, it looks a little better than you thought. Like, that's where they are in the messy middle right now.
Right,
you always say
pick.
that word. That
yes.
messy middle where it's like, are you going to make the playoffs by 2 points? You're going to miss the playoffs by 2 points. We are in it. We are in the messy middle with with 6 other teams right now, 6 other organizations. So the challenge is, do you have the patience to go, we can do it internally, or do you, like I say, can you find a player for 4th rounder that's an upgrade on Stetcher or somebody else like that? That's what that's kind of my thought process, is not to blow it all up, but not to sell off right now. You can always sell off at the deadline or this summer too, right?
Well, yeah, unless, you can't with Bobby McMahon or Lott and the guys that are UFAs.
Correct.
Those guys can walk for nothing. You got to make a decision on those players.
Fair enough.
I hear you. I think in reality, the only way, not the only way, again, but they're in one. They're 6 points out. Now Florida's red hot. You'll notice that. Florida's like, okay, we're going to start playing. That's trouble.
Right.
Ottawa's 2 points behind them. And Ottawa, I saw Travis Green's chat with his team after the game. I thought it was pretty inspiring. He's like, let's just get hot. Anything can happen here. Right. Allmark's back. He backed up, but he's here. Maybe he gets hot. It's not that the Leafs can't do it, but for me, they need goaltending to be red hot. I've said that for weeks. And really, you need Nylander back and Tanev back. Now, Nylander will return at some point. I don't know about Tanev. Nobody knows. But my point, the reason I bring Tanev up, Noodles, is if you're replacing Troy Stetcher, that's not getting you in the playoffs, man.
No,
that's
what I told you.
And that's just not worth it. I would agree with
player. Yeah,
it's just not worth it. You can't keep giving away a 4th here, a 3rd there. They don't have them, man. They got nothing. They got
fair.
no picks, no prospects.
I guess my point is if there's a move, it's not a significant move. It's like, hey, you're always looking to upgrade. You're always looking to add here or there. Like missing.
Well, not every team is though, Noodles. Like some teams have to admit it's not their year. I'm not saying they're officially there yet. I'm not declaring that, but it could be a reality. Like it could be like actually you do just have to trade McMahon and trade Domi if you can, and trade Lawton and trade. You might have to.
So we talked about this last week. Kyle Dubas at the start of the year had this plan to hey, I'm selling off pieces. All of a sudden this team's in 3rd place.
They're playing great.
Metro and playing well. He's probably had to adjust. What we're saying, or what you're saying, is Brad Treliving probably had a plan, and he might have to adjust his plan based on what we're seeing right now. And that's fair to say, when you're in the muddy middle, we'll call it. So
yes, I mean that's now. Is he willing to do that? Who's making that call? Where does Keith Pelly come into play? There's a lot.
If the Boston Bruins are willing to do it, why can't the Toronto Maple Leafs too cool for school?
They should be able to. I totally agree.
You know what I mean? Like everyone's like, oh, if you're the Leafs, you don't have to do anything. I've said it before. The market bears whatever you put in front of it. What do you get?
You know what your record says?
Yes,
they've had a good run. There's always been this.
Don Sweeney telling his fan base that it's like we're selling off pieces. Marchand's gone. Brad Marchand, he said, piss off. Do you want to sign somewhere else? Go ahead. Like,
it was
he made
the right
a tough
play.
decision. It was the right play at the time.
I guess my only point is, and whether it's right or wrong, Sweeney had presented himself organically. Swayman comes to camp late, doesn't get his game in order. McAvoy gets hurt. Hampus Lindholm was hurt from day one. Now, Tanev might be in that situation. Like, you might have some organic stuff where it's just like, hey, we are going to head that direction. Because they were shutting players down left and right. By the end, it was like everyone shut down. Marchand, you got to go, all of that.
Yeah.
So organically that happened, and they pivoted. I remember the conversation because I was in Boston, and Cam Neely, in the media, we were there. He said, this week we are making a decision whether we go in or we go out.
Right,
and
I remember that.
Do you remember that? And
yeah.
And then they went out, and then that was it. They decided to bottom out.
And again, that would have been, he's the president, and there's Sweeney here.
Yeah.
Is that Keith Pelly that makes that call? I honestly don't know. He seems heavily involved. Is it Brad Treliving? Is Treliving secure in doing that? Going to the ownership and saying, hey, guys, I'm selling. You got to give me a year or two to retool. Here's my plan. Because Boston, they've turned around quickly to their credit. I didn't think they'd do it this quickly. But, and you're right. The Leafs shouldn't be too cool for that. There's always been this sense, well, you can't do it to Matthews. They did it to Pasternak. They did it to McAvoy. They said, no, you guys didn't play well enough. Your team's not good enough.
No.
There's always this sense like one bad thing and Austin's going to demand out. If that is the reality, I don't think it would be, then he wasn't going to stay here anyway. And he's not committed to the team. One bump in the road, I'm out of here. Are you kidding me?
I think there's still time before that not that these conversations.
Well, they're happening right now.
The conversations are certainly being had, but I think there's still time before these decisions get made. I guess that was my point.
Sure.
Not much.
So like the Olympic freeze hits.
March 6th is I say, it's coming up, and the trade freeze is there. Like you're right.
Furthermore, on top of that, Noodles, you got to make a choice on Bobby McMahon now. Are you signing him or not?
Right.
Because even if you're we're going to go for it, if you're not going to sign him, trade him. What, you're just going to walk him out or Scott Lawton walk out? I don't know.
Any information on what a McMahon camp is looking for?
I don't know. I mean, there's been numbers thrown around about
there's people saying that this guy, you got to, for him to play in your team, it's going to take $5 million to sign him.
I'm not doing that. Find the next Bobby McMahon. You can't It was a great contract they signed him to, a great deal. He showed up, played well. They got him on a short, a 2 or 3 year deal at good money. It was a really smart play. I think Treliving made that signing really smart. Let him go to Seattle for $5 and find the next guy. That would be my approach.